Hello, today I'm going to show you how to engrave some glassware. Just some simple considerations here when choosing a graphic. Say I want to engrave my last name on a glass. I need to make that about the same size or less than the diameter of the glass so that it can fit in without me having to rotate it around to actually read a word. It is totally possible, though, to put something and then on the flip side put an image or something on the other side. You can totally do that, but for a single graphic, you typically want it the diameter or less than the glassware. There's different types. There's like square glassware, and then there's a tapered. Some of that comes into consideration, but you probably want to just average the two on the tapered and just kind of stay within that or know where you're going to put it. Additionally, this is a shot of the inside of the laser engraver. Here's your cutter head, and the cut bed has been removed, and you'll see that there's a bracket down here and a plug-in over here. That's where the rotary attachment goes. So the Frankenstein kind of pegs on the rotary attachment fit into these grooves, and then that cable goes into here. So when it's hooked up, it should look like this. So that Frankenstein peg coming out of it, that stud right here, fits in that groove, and then that cable comes up, plugs in there. Don't tighten these super hard, but you can just tighten it up a little bit, and that's fine. Then your glass goes on here. This compresses, and this latch is pushed down to lock it. What I've done previously, if I have something that's tapered, I get a little piece of wood and wedge it in the bottom of this so that it pivots on these pegs, and that this whole side right here is now flush or even for my laser, so it stays in one focus. If you focus it here right now, the depth, as it goes, it'll get blurry. So I usually take the average, or I take something over here and wedge it so it's consistently even. Just some thoughts when approaching the laser engraver in your setup. From there, once again, I just measured the diameter, so I'm going to have this fit in there. We'll say my diameter was 3.5. So I have just under 3.5 here. We'll kind of lock it at 3.25, and I'm good to go. In order to print to the laser engraver, I have to rotate this 90 degrees so it matches up with the attachment. And then I also want to change it to a gray. So if you go to your grays down here, you'll see that this is a black, and then it continuously shrinkens a little bit. A lot of us have default CMYK. And these will all be down all the way, and then there will be one that's a 70. So what that color is going to look like is you're going to hover over your grayscales if you're CMYK, and this one's going to be 000, and then in the K value, which is black, it's going to be 70. I would recommend not going over that. What happens is if you go over that, typically you get like a dust material from where it's engraving. The glass turns to a little bit of dust, and it's just, no one wants that on their stuff, so keep that in mind. So now I have everything a dark gray or less. You could try doing something real light and maybe have a little bit of contrast, but typically I just go right to the 70s. And then I'm going to deactivate all my other stuff. Highlight this, go to File, Print, and then here's where I have to set up for the laser engraver. So VLS, uncheck Auto Rotate, and then go to Setup. I check this because I don't want to see it again. Hit Continue. VLS, Preferences. I change my material to soda lime glass. I put my thickness to 0.1. And then right here, fixture type, you need to change that to rotary. And then here, type in the exact diameter of your glassware. If you don't, it's going to rotate it too fast or too slow. So your picture is going to be like elongated or shrinking down and compressed, and it's going to lose its aspect ratio. So just make sure you measure that correctly. If you're engraving on a glass that is tapered, like I showed before, still type in the full diameter and then try wedging the engraver, the rotary table, up a little bit so it's all flat, and then keep that. But you might want to shrink that down if it doesn't turn out. But typically this has worked just fine for me. Anyway, moving on. Material thickness, 0.1, rotary fixture, diameter, 3.5. Okay. And then I'm going to click print and print again. And then when I bring this up, it should have a yellow line through it, meaning it's going to be on that rotary fixture. And then you just export like normal. Export, flash drive, import it, get your glassware ready, and you should be good to go. You're just going to want to bump this up and have it on the glass fixture over here, and you're good to go. Hope that helps. Feel free to get your design ready, show me, and then I'll give you a demo on etching that glassware. I typically do have extra glassware laying around if you want a test piece to try it on.